This cycle of the consequences of will versus will is essentially the same whether it occurs in the life of a single individual, a family, a group, a nation, a civilization, or in the entire scheme of history, writ large, and in each and every case, the point of division in the choice of self-will versus God's will is obedience to Jesus Christ. The issue is always Jesus Christ, for he is the truth, John 14:6. He is the firstborn and heir of all creation, Revelation 3:14. The one for whom, by whom, and through whom all things exist, the one who has been directing the Father's plan since the beginning, the one who will shortly return to earth in glory, to begin his rightful reign, and the one without whose death on our behalf there would be no salvation, no restoration. On every level, whether large or small, Jesus Christ divides the universe on the issue of will. To reject Jesus Christ is to reject the will of God. Conversely, to choose his will is to follow Jesus Christ. I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one can come to the Father except through me. John 14:6. Do not think that I have come to hurl peace upon the earth. I have not come to hurl peace upon the earth, but a sword of divisiveness. For I have come to divide, so that a man will be set against his father, and a daughter against her mother, and a daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law, with the result that a man's enemies will be the members of his own household. Micah 7:6. Whoever loves his father or mother above me is not worthy of me, and whoever loves his son or daughter above me is not worthy of me. And whoever does not take his cross and follow after me is not worthy of me. Whoever has found his life will lose it, and the one who has lost his life for my sake will find it. Matthew 10:34-39. General character of the tribulation. Man is made in the image of God according to his likeness, Genesis 1:26 and 27, and created for his glory, Isaiah 43:7. Therefore it should not be accounted strange that every aspect of human existence revolves around our attitude about him, or that in whatever we choose, we really are only choosing for or against him, especially in the case of believers, Galatians 5:17. Just as King Rehoboam did evil because he had not set his heart on seeking the Lord, 2 Chronicles 12:14, so every instance of not responding to him inevitably leads to and equates with responding instead to evil. Our only true choice in life is whether to prefer being servants of God or pawns of the devil. This is true in all things, great and small. For this reason, human history, the cumulative choices of mankind, is not occurring in a vacuum, but rather is being played out against the backdrop of Satan's rebellion. This principle will be more obvious during the tribulation than in any other previous period. For just as the issue of choice will never be clearer than in the millennium in terms of positive motivation, under the direct righteous rule of Jesus Christ, so the issue and consequences of human free will never be clearer in terms of negative motivation than in the tribulation, with the world under its most direct satanic control in the person of Antichrist. Over the course of this 7-part series, we shall have much to say about the events and trials of that great period of testing to come. However, it is important to stress here that the tribulation's general character is neither accidental nor peripheral, but is rather the direct result of the intensification during its 7 years of this issue of choice between God and his Son on the one hand, and the devil and his surrogate on the other. In no other era of history will the consequences of the question, which side are you on, be more obvious and immediate. The tribulation will be a great time of testing, precisely because humanity will be forced to choose between two clear extremes, between good and evil, without the luxuries of privacy and time for circumspection that have been taken for granted in the past. For the middle ground of quiet agnosticism, and all its equivalents, made possible by God's invisible restraint of evil through law and nationalism, will be removed to a very large degree. This is why, dear reader, our subject is of such pressing importance. Should it be our lot to endure that great conflagration to come, our faith will be tested as never before, for during the tribulation the devil will pressure all mankind to accede to his will beyond anything the world has yet experienced. Woe to the earth and the sea, for the devil has come down to you having great anger. because he knows that he has only a short time remaining. Revelation 12:12. The greater the devil's direct control over the earth and its inhabitants, the more the pressure to reject God and his Son. And the more evil done on earth, the greater the divine judgment upon that evil. From these twin essential traits of the tribulation, demonic control and divine retribution, unique in terms of their unprecedented intensity, flow most of the other characteristics associated with that cataclysmic period. Along with the division they create, that is, the necessity of choice for Christ or Antichrist, these two main traits and their collective results will combine to make the tribulation the time of the most severe testing ever experienced by believers. It will be the great crucible of our faith. But when the Son of Man returns, will he find faith on the earth? Luke 18:8. The tribulation, whose very name communicates unprecedented distress, will thus be the great hour of testing which will put mankind to the test. Revelation 3:10. It will be 1. A great smelter that separates silver from dross. 2. A great threshing floor that separates wheat from chaff. And 3. A long, dark night requiring the utmost perseverance to endure. Isaiah 21:11 and 12, and John 11:9 and 10. And during that time of the end, many will purify and cleanse themselves and will be refined, literally smelted in a crucible. But the wicked will act wickedly, nor will any of the wicked understand. But those who give these matters careful attention will understand. Daniel 12:10. His winnowing fork is in his hand, ready to cleanse his threshing floor and gather the grain into his barn, but he will burn up the chaff with unquenchable fire. Luke 3:17. We must work the works of him who sent me as long as it is day. Night is coming, when no one is going to be able to work. John 9:4. As believers, it is this issue of maintaining our faith no matter what, upon which we must take the greatest care to keep our gaze directed. For amidst the universal war, famine, plague, worldwide disasters, and tremendous divine punishment upon the earth's unbelieving inhabitants, maintaining faith, firmly fixed on our hope and expressing itself in love, Galatians 5:5 and 6, will be the central issue for all believers in that most intensive refining process called the tribulation. For in all the troubles to come, he will be faithful to those who remain faithful to him. In spite of widespread apostasy, Matthew 24:9 through 14, now we see that they, that is the Exodus generation, were unable to enter into this place of rest because of their unbelief, lack of faith. So let us beware lest any of you should seem to fall short on this score by casting aside God's promise in a similar way. For we have had the gospel preached to us just as they did. But the word they heard did not profit them, for though they heard it, they did not mix it with faith. Therefore it is we who believe who enter into this rest, not those who abandon their faith, just as he has said. Hebrews 3:19 through 4:3. In spite of severe economic dislocation, Revelation 6:6, and if God dresses the wild plants in such a way, here today but thrown into the oven tomorrow, will he not all the more do so for you, O you of little faith? Matthew 6:30. In spite of warfare, plague, and catastrophe, Revelation 6:2 through 8 and 13:1 and following, you will not be afraid of terror by night, nor of the arrow that flies by day, nor of the pestilence that goes about in the darkness, nor of the plague that destroys at noonday. 1,000 may fall at your side, even 10,000 at your right hand, you it will not approach. Psalm 91:5 through 7.